Hello everybody and welcome back. This is going to be going over how to make the cat pattern that was provided to you in the hooked kit. Alright, this is going to be, we're going to start with the body. I'm going to be using the orange version just because that shows up better on camera, but if you have the black or the gray cat, then it will be made just exactly the same. All right, so what we're going to start with is that last technique we used, the magic ring. A little bit of a pain in the butt, but it really helps out a lot when it comes to keeping the stuffing in. We're going to make that X with our fingers, put our hook under the first round, grab the second loop, and then we are going to go in, grab some new yarn, and pull it through that hoop we just made. All right, that should leave us with, a little ring like this. I'm gonna pull just to make it a bit larger. There we go. All right, then I am going to go in, grab one. And remember, for making a single crochet, we are going to pull through the first loop, leave 2 more loops on our ring, and then we are going to pull through both loops, leaving only 1 hoop on our ring. All right, let's do that again. That was one crochet. Here's going to be 2. We've got 2 loops. Keep dropping the yarn. We're going to grab some yarn, pull it through the first, grab some more yarn. Let me pull some out so that's weird. And we're gonna pull it through both loops. Okay, there's 2, and I noticed that I'm running a little bit out of that yarn, so we're gonna pull. There we go. And our last single crochet. Don't get too excited now. And then we are going to do 1 and 2. There we are. All right, now we're just going to pull it so that it looks like an actual circle, stretching out those stitches as we go. Stretch them out, and then a little bit more. There we are. All right, so that was round 1. Right, now that we've finished round 1, you'll notice that round 2 says 6 ink. That means that we are going to do a total of 12 stitches in these 6 stitches. So what we are going to do first is we're going to find the stitch we need to go into. And we're going to find, do you see this V? It's a little more visible here. There's a V right there. Or even here, got a little V, little V. All right, so we are going to go in. Sometimes that first one gets a little tight just because of where it is. You can just bully your way through. And you'll notice we are still making a single crochet, but we have 3 hoops on the hook. We're going to treat this just the same. We're going to loop over. We are going to pull our yarn through the 2 hoops, and then we are going to grab it and pull our yarn through the next 2 hoops, just like that. So that's 1, and the increase means that we are going to go into the same stitch, and you can see this is the stitch we just made. It's in this stitch. We are going to go into that same area. Let me make sure that was right. Yep. We're going to go into that same area and make just another stitch. So we're going to pull it through 1, pull it through 2. All right, so there was 1. Now we are going to skip to the next stitch. See this V here, push our hook in, pull our yarn through 1, pull our yarn through 2, then just go into that same stitch. And you know, at this point we have 4 single crochets and we are looking to make 6 All right, so we're looking to make 12 single crochets, noted by the parentheses. Now that was 2 in one stitch, so we're gonna go over here into that one. There we are. And you can notice, we can count real quick. Each V, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right, so we just finished round number 2. We just made 12 stitches, or 6 increases as they're sometimes known. And now we are moving on to round 3, which has 1 single crochet and 1 increase. Now what that means is that in our last round, we were doing 2 single crochets in every single stitch underneath us. But for this round, we are just going to be doing 2 single crochets in every other stitch. So for this one right here, this is our first stitch of round 3. We are just going to put 1 single crochet, and that stitch is done. Now we're just going to move to this V, and we are going to put 1, and then we are going to go into that same stitch and make a 3rd stitch for this round. Now for our next one, we're just gonna start that pattern over again. We only need 1 stitch in in this one, and then we're going to put 2 stitches in this one. So here's 1, and we can stretch it out a little, see that it's this stitch, and 2. There we go. And we are just going to continue that pattern for as long as we need. And so far you can see we're starting to make a little head. So we just completed round 3, and now we are on to round 4, which has 2 single crochets and 1 increase. That's going to be the same concept as the last one, except we are going to put 1 stitch in these 2, and then we are going to put 2 stitches in this 3rd one. So just for concept, we can do 1, here's 2, and here is going to be 3, and 4. There we go. And we're going to continue that pattern until we've reached 24 stitches in this round. So that was 4. Alright, that was our 24 stitches for round 4. You'll notice in the video I cut it off a little bit. There was just a lot of noise outside, and it was interfering with my concentration. Little swoopsie, you know? Alright, and then for round 5, 6, and 7, it is just going to be 24 single crochets again. You'll notice on round 5, there is a note that I like to put the eyes on round 5. We won't actually do that until round 9, but it was just a note that I wanted to make for us. So I think we're just gonna do round 5, 6, and 7 real quick here, where we just do 1 crochet for each stitch below us. Here's 1, and I will see you guys back here after we do those 3 rounds of 24. Alright, here we are after round 7. We've got 3 rows of 24 stitches, and we're going to round 8, which has 1 single crochet, 1 decrease. Now this one is a little weird. It's similar to those 1 single crochets, 1 increase. So we are going to start by just putting a single crochet like usual into our pattern, into our round. So there's our one single crochet, but one decrease means we are going to take this V, and instead of going through the whole thing like usual, we are just going to go through this first loop. And then we are going to go to the next stitch and do the same thing, where we just get the first loop of that V. So that way we have, again, 3 loops on our stitch, and we're going to do a single crochet. That's 2 stitches. Oops, come on, go all the way through. Okay, we are going to do another single crochet, and then I can show you guys again. It's a bit tricky. So for our first single crochet, we're going through the whole V, remember? Whole V, 1, 2. All right, but then for our second, we are going to take this V right here, this V, and we are going to just push it through. Oh goodness, I wish I could do this without my finger getting in the way. Excuse me. Just through that first one, you can see there's still this loop in the back. We just need 1 loop, and then we are going to grab this 1 loop from the next stitch as well. And there we go. And we're just going to keep following that pattern. So that was our 4th single crochet. And we're doing 18 in this round. Here's 5. All right, and then for number 6, one more time. Through the front loop, through the loop. There's 6. All right, so that was round, round 8, where we did 1 single crochet and 1 decrease. We are just going to do 18 single crochets again, similar to how we did the 3 rows of 24 single crochets. Just 1, there's 2, and we're going to keep doing that. And then right after this round is when we are going to start adding the eyes and the stuffing. So here's 3. There's 18 single crochets. Now here's where we're gonna pause the crocheting. I'm gonna leave my hook in the stitch just so when I'm pulling it doesn't accidentally start frogging and we lose where we're at. But I am going to grab parts of the kit, including the eyes that were provided for you and a little bit of this fiber filling. So we're going to add the eyes first. I'm going to start, if you remember, there was that note that the eyes sometimes look really nice in round 5, so I'm going to count to there. So we can see this little circle is going to be round 1, round 2, round 3, round 4, round 5. So anywhere in here is going to be where the eyes look really good for me. Of course, you can place them wherever you want. It's your little kitty, it's your friend. Some people like their eyes really far apart. Some people like them really close together. So I am just going to put them a little willy-nilly. But you can just shove them in like that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to briefly turn them inside out. And we're going to take these little ends of the eye and we're just going to push it on. Sometimes they go right on. Sometimes it needs a little more firepower. But with these eyes, I have noticed it's pretty easy to just slide those eyes on. And then we'll turn it back, right side out, and check. Do we like where those eyes are? I think they look pretty good. I really like those eyes. So I'm just going to take some stuffing. And the reason we start stuffing now is because I really like my stuffed animals to be quite firm. And if we don't start stuffing now, we are going to start getting into the neck and the body soon. And it's going to be really, really difficult to get this stuffing all the way up past the neck and into the head, enough to match my preferences for how firm I want my little guy. Not gonna add too much, just a little so that he gets started. and it gets all the way at the top. And then we are going to put our hook back in, and we are all ready to start round number 10. All right, for round number 10 through 12, it's just going to be another of those 18 stitches all in a row. So I'm going to just do that really quick. Here we are from round 12. We can really see he's starting to come together. He kind of just looks like a blob, but that's okay because you can see his little head and he's coming into his body. And we are going to move into round, keep forgetting what round, 13, right? Round 13? Yeah, where it says 1 single crochet, 1 decrease, which is, you know, we just did that a couple rounds ago. We're gonna do our single, and then we are going to grab the very first loop and the very first loop only of the V, and then we're going to grab it from the next stitch as well, and pull it down, pull it through, and that is our second single crochet. Okay, now we're gonna just keep alternating that pattern. We got 3. We got 12 stitches. He's starting to really shrink up a little bit. But that is round number 4. Round number 13. Goodness. All right, and we're going into what's kind of the final round. So real quick, I just want to add some more of the stuffing. You know, stuff to your heart's content. You can stuff as little or as much as you want to. You could just make them like an empty ball if you want. You could just be an empty little yarn. You don't have to put any stuffing in if you don't like it. But I do like it, so I am going to stuff this little baby as much as I can so that he really like fills out his shape and he looks like a little blob. I love little blobs. Now for round 14, we actually have a bit of a typo. We're not going to be doing 1 single crochet, 1 decrease. We are just going to be doing 6 decreases. It's kind of like a mirror of what we did at the very beginning with round 2 and 3. So round 2 was 6 increases, and then we did a single crochet and an increase. And in this version, or kind of flipping it, we're doing round 13 is a single crochet and a decrease, and round 14 is just going to be 6 decreases. So that's 2. So at the very end, we'll notice we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 little stitches in this little hole. The exact opposite of what we got up here. But now we need to close this hole and make it look like up here so no stuffing falls out. Now what we're going to do here is grab some scissors. Let me see. And here we go. We're going to leave a little bit of a tail because we are going to want to be able to sew this a little bit. Just a little. So what I like to do is I just wrap my yarn around him, make sure that I have enough to go in a little circle if I needed to, and then I just cut right there. All right, so then after that, we are going to do a real quick slip stitch. So at the end of your instructions, you will see a fastening off part. We just did step number 1 where we cut the remaining yarn. So here we are going to insert our hook into the next stitch, and that is the whole stitch. Not just the front part like when we're doing a decrease. And now we can wrap the yarn around the hook, and we just pull the yarn through all 3 loops that were on there. And we just pull it tight like that. So you'll notice that, you know, there's no hole. There is still this hole here, but there's no place to insert your crochet hook anymore. That's all right, because what we are going to do is grab our yarn needle next. this is going to be the closing the body instructions, which should be on the opposite side of your fastening off instructions. What I like to do as my step one, optional step one, is I just squeeze this a little bit. I put it in my mouth a little bit, get a little saliva on there to make it easier to flatten out, and then I push it through my yarn needle. There we go. The strands separate a little bit, but that's okay. Pull it all the way through. All right, and we were going this way. So what we are going to do is push the yarn needle through this first stitch. We can pull it all the way through just like that. Just pulling the yarn, and then we just go into the next stitch. 1, 2. Sometimes I want to pull out this little bugger real quick just to make sure he's not getting caught on anything. Here's 3, and we'll notice it's already closing up quite a bit. I like to go through until I've done all 6 stitches, but I mean even now I'm on stitch 4 and it's getting quite difficult to tell which stitch is which. So if you just want to keep following along, I will show you what to do at the end. And then we're just going to pull this real tight. Now you'll notice it doesn't look exactly like the one on top, but it's got the little circle and it's going exactly how we want it to go. Now we're gonna pull it shut, and then I just like to tuck my yarn in. Some people will recommend cutting it. I usually just tuck it because I don't mind the extra stuffing, of course, and because that way it makes it a little harder for your project to get undone. It takes a little more wear and tear for anything to happen to it. There we go. And there is our body. He looks just like a blob right now, but once we add the ears and the tails and the paw, your little friend will be all done. Alrighty, so we just finished the body of our cat, and now our next step is going to be creating the tail. So we are going to once again be making that magic ring, good old magic ring. Make the X under our fingers, push our hook under that first loop, grab the second, pull it out, and we are just going to go around. Hey, come back here. Grab some of this and pull it through, and I'm just gonna tighten that real quick. Excuse me. Excuse me. There we go. There we go. That was a little special. Sorry about that, guys. Magic ring gives everybody a little issue. Okay. But we are just going to do the exact same thing where we do 6 single crochets in our magic ring. Here we go. There we go, that was round number 1. We got our magic ring. Quick little change of scenery, because I realized when I was doing my editing that I actually didn't record one of the rounds. I think maybe I just hit the button too many times and I started and stopped the video really fast. So we are on the tail. We just finished round 1 of our magic ring. And we are going on to round 2, which is 1 single crochet and 1 increase. That's going to be the same as something we did in the body. I can't remember the exact round number right now, but we're going to start with that first stitch. Ooh, that did not work out nicely, did it? There we go. I'm going to start out with that first stitch being 1 single crochet. And then we're going to go to the next stitch and have this one have 2 single crochets in it. Here's 1. And then you'll notice if you pull on this stitch, you can see this. This is the stitch we just made, and it's still inside this one. I'm sure by now you might have gotten the hang of it, but it never hurts to reiterate and try new things. Okay, so that is our third. We are going to be making 9 stitches in this round, which is a bit of a weird number. Alright, that is our round 2 of the tail. Rounds 3 and 4 are both just going to be 9 single crochets, so we're just going to be putting 1 stitch in each one of these things. So we are just going to go ahead and do that really quickly, and then I will catch back up to you guys when it becomes time for round number 6. Round number 5. I can count, guys, I swear. That is the end of round 4. Alright, so we just completed round 3 and 4 with the 9 single crochets. Now it's time for round 5, where we do the 1 single crochet and the 1 decrease. Kind of just like what we did with the body. Here's 1. And then we're going to go into that first loop of the V. The next stitch here is 2. Now after this, we are going to have round 6 through 10 just be 6 single crochets. This is just to give you, like, here's going to be our tail that we're going to put right there. It's just to give you a little bit of connection to the back. Depending on where you want your tail, maybe you just want it back here, maybe you want it closer up. You can add or take away a round or two. But I don't recommend taking or adding too many, just because then you will throw off how much yarn you have left. At this point, I do recommend stuffing, just because, again, it'll be hard to get all the way to the back once you've started doing your additional rounds. So I'm just gonna stuff as much as I want, and then maybe pull out a bit. Not the whole thing, pull out a bit, so that I can live in peace knowing that my tail is well stuffed. There we go. Alright, and here is our tail. I just finished my rounds. I stretched them out a little bit just by pulling. Yarn's pretty flexible, but it likes to do its thing at the same time. So now we are just going to do the same thing we did on the body and fasten off. I am going to leave a little extra yarn, so I'm going to wind it around the tail 3 times just to make sure it can do that much. And I'm going to slice. Just like that. Excuse me. Alright, and then we are going to do a slip stitch. We are going to slip into the next stitch and pull the yarn through everything we get. Oops, let me try that again. Come on, everything we got. There we go. Then we're just gonna pull it tight. And that's our tail. I will show you how to attach it after we make the ears and the paws as well. For the ears, we are going to be doing chains or rows instead of rounds. And to do that, we need to make our slip stitch first, which should be a tutorial on the basics, but just for a little quick recap, we are going to take our end, we are going to wrap it around our finger. We got this little X here. And then we are going to take the other end of the yarn, wrap it around our finger again. That way we have this is the end, this is the other end. We have 2 loops on our finger. We are going to take the top loop and pull it over that one, and we've got a slip stitch there. There we go. And then we are just going to pull, let me flip it over. We are just going to pull on the end until the stitch is the size of our hook. Alright, and then row 1 of the ears is to just chain 5. So that's all we're gonna do. We're gonna do 1. That is row 1, and we can see all of our stitches right there. Okay, here we are. We are going to skip stitch number 5. Stitch number 5 is going to be your turning stitch, and we're going to go, so this would be stitch number, here, let me pull it up a little bit. This would be, excuse me, you are not focusing well. This would be stitch number 5. We're just going to go into the next loop, and we are going to single crochet and do that 4 times. So there's the 2 loops. We're going to pull it through the first loop, and then we're going to pull our yarn through the next 2 loops, and then we are going to do the same. That's 1. Oops, come on. Get a little difficult on your very first row just because the yarn is, there's not so much support, so it just goes where it wants to go, not where you want it to go. Okay, so that was 2. Here's 3. Oops, come on. 3. Here is number 4. Come on, come on. There's number 4. All right, now that we've finished round 2, we're gonna go into round 3. Similar to a turning chain, we're going to skip this first single crochet, just go to the second with that V, and we're going to push our hook through, make sure we grab the yarn that is attached to the long end. Here's 2, 1 single crochet, and then here's, let me stretch this out a little bit. Here's 2 single, oh my goodness. Like I was saying, these very first few rows are the difficult part of the project, which sucks for this tiny little project because these are the only rows of our project. There we go. Here's single crochet number 2 for the ear, and we're going to do single crochet number 3 in this little buddy. 1 and 2. There we are. And now we are going to once again flip it over. We're going to skip over this first single crochet, go right to the second one, and we are on round number 4, so we are just going to single crochet 2. Here's 1, and here is, come on, oh my goodness, I know we can do it, I know we can do it, guys. I know we can do it. Single crochet number 2, sorry about that pause. There we go. All right, and then we're gonna flip it over one last time and just do our last single crochet, row number 5. Ready? 1 and 2, and there we go. That's our little ear. See a little triangle here? There we go. And I am just going to lay down this yarn flat, and I'm just gonna give as much as I gave the other side, and we can just pull it through like that. We don't need to go to the next stitch because this is not a round. There we are. Got 1 ear down. We just need to duplicate that and we will have 2 ears. Hello everybody, me again with a quick change of scenery because I forgot to show you guys how to crochet the paws. So the paws is going to be something actually really simple. It's just going to be a step that we've done already before with 6 single crochets inside of a magic ring. So we're going to go ahead and make that X real quick. And then we're going to take our hook, go under that first loop, grab that second, going a little faster just because got the hang of it a little more now. And I mean, if you don't, it's a really tricky concept. You can just go back and watch that part of the basics video, or you can just watch this in slow-mo. But there is our slip knot, and we're just going to be doing 6 single crochets in this magic circle. You'll notice I am using the white yarn. You should also have a little excess I'm saying that correctly, excess of whatever color cat you got. So like white, or not white, gray, black, or orange. If you wanted to make the paws be the same color as the body. But I thought that having little mittens would be really cute. So I wanted to make sure everyone had that option. That was 2 single crochets. We're just gonna finish out all 6 real quick. And then to fasten off our little paw, we are just going to do what we normally do, and we are going to cut off just a little bit of this yarn. I unfortunately don't have my scissors with me right now, so we'll just play pretend for a second. But we are going to just take our yarn, pull it through both of those, and then in this hypothetical situation, you would just keep pulling until you got to the end, and you would have a nice little paw. And I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much. We are going to attach the tail to the body first, because I feel like that's a good place to start off. So first I'm going to position the tail about where I want it. I want it to kind of line up with his face, and then I'm just gonna follow this to the back. So I kind of want it to line up right there. I'm gonna take my yarn needle, poke it there. I have already threaded the yarn through there, but step 1 would be probably just to fray this a little bit. I just kind of went like that, and the strands split apart, flattened a little bit, you can see, and they went through the yarn needle just fine. Okay, so we want it to look right like that. So I'm going to find a stitch. Let's do this one right here and just pull it through. And then we are going to, before we do any other stitches, just check and make sure one more time that about lines up with what we want. And it looks pretty good to me. So next, I am going to thread through another nearby stitch, and then I'm going to thread through the stitch on the item, just like that. And I'm gonna pull it through both of them. Come on, there we go. And now if we want, we can go through and just stitch as we go. So the tail is attached to the body the long ways as well. Just like that. You don't have to do this, but I really want this tail to be stuck out right by his little cute face. So I'm going to just, there's not really an exact science to it. You just be like, oh, what this stitch about looks like it could fit in that stitch. At least there isn't an exact science that I found. Perhaps there is one, and we're just all gonna learn something new today. But here we go, and I think that will bring it into our little guy, our little tail. And that's how he is. He's got his tail. We're gonna tuck this in, but it sticks right there, and his tail sticks right next to him. And we're just gonna do that while we're here. We're just, that's his tail attached. Next, we are going to attach the ears. I will probably just follow you through with one, and then we can help with the other. But it's a similar concept in that I'm gonna find about where I like it. And then I am going to use the side that's closest to the middle to stitch my stuff in. So let me break this apart. Thread my yarn needle this time so you guys can see. Just pull it through. Okay, and then we are going to see right here. I like this stitch, and it kind of works with that very first stitch. So there we go. And we are just gonna work our way back and forth on this one. There's that. So there's first stitch. Now let's grab this stitch, or let's grab this stitch. Let's grab the second one. Here we go. And then remember, the ear actually only has 5 stitches, so this next one will be our last one. Let's see, for number 5. And we're just gonna thread you through this one right here. There we go. And I just pull it tight. And again, we're just gonna tuck this extra. You can also cut it off. I tend to tuck when I'm in, like, if the question is should I tuck or cut, I tend to answer with tuck, because I like having the extra thing. It does look a little uneven, but that's okay because cats are a little silly. All right, and then we're just gonna line it up so it looks similar, and oh yeah, that'll be perfect. So let me just, and there we are, our second ear is on. I still just had to tuck those in. And last but not least, we are going to put the paws on. So first, what we are going to do is we are going to figure out about where we want these paws. So I think there looks pretty good. The yarn's kind of in the way, but you get the idea. And then I am just going to take the longer yarn, and I'm going to thread it through our yarn needle real quick. I kind of just scrape it like that, just a little scrape, so I can get the strands to flatten out a bit and go through the yarn needle. Then I grab them through. All right, and then we usually just want to do about 1 sewing motion per stitch. So with the paws, we just did 6 single crochets inside a magic ring, so we really need to only do 6 stitches here. So here I'm going to just find a stitch on the body that about gets close to where I wanted the paw to be positioned, and I'm gonna pull the yarn through just like that. Then I'm just gonna keep doing that. So now we are just going to tuck any remaining white yarn. I'm just gonna, and I just use the white yarn because I think it's easier to visualize exactly what's going on here. If you've got a gray or an orange kit, or sorry, a gray or a black kit, you'll also have white for the paws. But we'll see if we think that's a good idea we'll probably just put extra orange in and white, and you can decide which color paws you want. And we're just gonna do it again over here. All right, and here's our completed project. It's a little guy. He's got 2 little white paws. He's got a tail. He's got 2 ears, 2 eyes, and he stands up all on his own. Look at him go. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed learning how to crochet, and I hope you can do it again. I'll see you guys later.